Yo.
Yes, sir. What's up, guys?
Yes. This DJ will kick the floor in three, two, one.
Hello and welcome to Mzansi. We're back again. It's that time we are 7 minutes late. We are in South Africa, guys. Anything is possible. There's everything here. There's load shedding, is whatever that you can think of, but we are here. We couldn't have let you sleep without knowing what is happening. For those who are waking up, good morning. For those who are sleeping, good night. For those who are in the midday, I don't know if there is such. Enjoy your day. I hope you finish it well. This is Mr. Anonymous for you today. And yesterday we were not here due to lack of interpreter. We didn't have an interpreter here at studio. Today we do have, I think, an interpreter because this is High Court, Emily. This is High Court, for heaven's sake. These things should exist. But by the way, greet before we get into the stories of our daily lives.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Mzansi Reality YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us yet again for another follow-up on the Senzo Meyiwa trial. Okay, we try to do this as much as we can after a hectic court day. Today was very, very hectic, but I'm kind of happy at some of the loopholes that have been pointed out. I'm going to start off with letting you know that actually the interpreter was back in court today. Interpreter Mr. Obi Odwa Jonasi was back in court, and advocate by law in Judge Maumela announced that he will be assisted by Mr. Isaac Ndlebe. So they got an assistant interpreter. So it's two of them from now on. I hope we won't be having any of those unnecessary adjournments. So the judge was said to be running a bit late. Advocate Balo introduced a bunch of new exhibits again to the court. He had no objection from the defense. So Mthoko Twala continued under cross-examination, this time by advocate Mnisi for accused number 3. So Mnisi started off the cross-examination by saying, you said you had 2 cans of Hunter's Dry and you were still fine. Twala said, firstly, good morning, and yes, I was still sober. Mnisi said, oh, sorry, good morning, Mr. Twala. Yeah. Mr. Mnisi was like, what was your observation of Longwe? Was he still sober? Then Twala said, I don't know. I wouldn't be able to say because I never saw him drinking. I also never took note, and he also arrived late. Mnisi asked, what about Mr. Madlala? Then Twala said he was drinking, but I wouldn't be able to say whether he was drunk. We were all seated and watching football, playing with kids on the side.
Okay. All right. Okay. Continue, Emma.
We were all playing with kids on the side. So, yeah, I don't know whether you wanted to say anything with regards to the fact that he had to remind Mr. Mnisi to greet him. I found that very odd.
No, it's okay. It's okay. If we deviate for such things, these are small issues. The guy is becoming a master of his own games. And you cannot take that away from him. He's learning. He's learning. It's a good thing that he's learning how to actually do these things. Okay. It's just to take someone off, Emily. Yeah, you can continue.
Then he was asked, what would you say about Zandile Twala? And he said, I don't know when she is drunk. I won't be able to know if she was drunk or not. It was my first time meeting her. Yes, she was drinking her guarana. I don't know her when she's drunk. Now you're seated there, and Kelly's demonstrating some dance of some churches, and this is happening in the sitting room except for Kelly. What were the other occupants doing? Were they standing or sitting? Twala said, we were sitting. Kelly was the only one standing. You were seeing the entrance of the room. Then someone came in. The entrance that led to the sitting room. According to you then, you got a bit shocked. Then Twala said, at first I thought it's someone they knew. Then I saw he had a gun. Then I looked at Senzo. Then Twala said, I wasn't shocked at first. And then I got shocked when I realized he had a gun. So Mnisi then continued, can you please describe what he was wearing? And then Twala said, I won't remember his upper body. what was he wearing, whether it was a jacket or what. He had a hat on with dreads protruding. So Mnisi then asked what type of a hat. Then Twala said it was a hat, not a woolly hat, not a beanie, not a cap. Was it a sun hat? Twala said, sun hats are usually big because you are blocking the sun. I'm describing a hat. Then Mnisi said, something smaller than a hat but resembling a sun hat. Twala said, you can say so. You know the one thing about Twala, he doesn't answer questions, Shem.
Yeah, I generally get disturbed by small things also. I will try to come back so that I can talk to you properly. Because what was interesting about this whole story of this guy explaining how he would have seen Tumelo, whether he was intoxicated or not, is by standing up and maybe doing something or dancing, in fact, to be specific. That is my interpretation, because he said, I don't know, because we didn't stand up and dance. So Kelly Khumalo was dancing. The question is, are you saying that Kelly Khumalo then was probably intoxicated? That would be me, because he's got time. He's got time to play. You have to find small things and also play with him, because those things could be helpful. And I know that he would try to be evasive and say that I don't know Kelly that much. Then the question would be, you said it's not the first time you met Kelly. So it is someone then you would say you kind of are familiar with. So maybe you should answer that question. I'm sure then eventually then the Mr. Afro will come in and help in this case, because that's how things are these days. You find Mr. Afro coming in and helping just right in time, and even imposing what he's thinking. Because, and I said this last time, what Mr. Afro knows does not mean that it's correct, you know.
True.
And this is where I have a problem with one judge, because his interpretation becomes this my lord judge, this my lord interpretation. And that thing of, by the way, is there no weight for my lord and whatnot? That thing is your worship. Not to say that I see, I mean, fit to be called that your Lord, my worship and whatnot.
Your lordship.
Is there no word that seeks to give you the same level as the judge, in a sense? Not to say you are in the same level, obviously. The man is sitting that side wearing some red mbula and whatnot. Just to, because other people don't deserve to be called like your lordship. I'm not saying that I'm talking about Mr. Afro here, that it doesn't. But I'm just saying that I would prefer maybe your honor, something like that. Not to say that all these words, by the way, they are not explaining what I would like to say. I would like to say, oh, Mr. Judge or something like that. Because, I mean, honestly speaking, we are watching the same case here.
Yes.
We are watching other cases.
Yes.
I mean, maybe this one, it deserves it to be called your honor and whatnot, and then maybe others don't. But I'm just saying that is there no way you can use another word that just seems to equal the grounds. But it's fine. Let's continue.
Well, Mnisi said, at the moment where you are not yet shocked, his complexion you gave to the court is that he's neither too dark nor too light. What about his height? Twala said he wasn't tall. Mnisi, are you able to estimate his height? And then Twala said, I won't be able to estimate, but he was not tall. He was shorter. I am taller than him. Mnisi then said, at that specific moment, where was Kelly and what was she doing? Twala said, at the time when these people entered, Kelly was standing, and at that particular time there was a door, and I think she went through that door, because I didn't pay much attention to Kelly, because we then looked at each other with Senzo. Another thing I can also recall is that Senzo's phone was right next to him. How? Okay. So I think she went through that door. As I said, Senzo and I were looking at each other, and it wasn't long after that Longwe then stood up, Mnisi reminded Twala that they are still at the scene where they were seeing the first intruder, the gunman. I asked you at that point where you said you were not yet shocked. I asked, what was Kelly doing and where was she? You were trying to explain and you say you didn't take much of Kelly, or you didn't take notice much of what Kelly was doing. And then Mrs. said,
Sorry, someone is saying that we must fix volume. Your volume is down.
Oh. Hi, today.
It's difficult.
Is it fine now? Is it okay now?
It's very hard because...
Let me see if I can hear.
Can you guys hear us?
Can you hear us?
I can hear you, but your thinking was down. It's fine. Continue.
All right. And then Mnisi said, I'm going to ask you to confine yourself to the question. You say this person had a gun. Twala then said yes, which was necessary because Mthoko threw in a lot of statements to attempt to throw off from the question. And no, it wasn't really working, but perhaps the main aim for him was to create confusion. I don't know, but I just felt that way. So Mnisi then said, after you realized that there is this person in the room, and then you looked at Senzo, that's when you realize that the person is a stranger. That's when you realize that the person is not known here for the fact that this person has a firearm in his possession. What makes you say that what he had was a gun? Then Twala said, because I saw it. And
Sorry, Emil. Are you guys hearing Emil now? I would like to hear from... Okay, yeah, he said yes, perfect, everything is fine. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the feedback.
I mean, guys, this speaks to one thing. You know, it gets into me, but it speaks to one thing. There are people who are sending for certain things for us to donate to them. Maybe this we should address. What we do here, I know it looks fancy and all that. It does not necessarily mean that we have what looks like we have. We don't. We are just... personally, we organize this thing on our own. We do everything and the technical stuff, and
yes.
and we need to check all the mics and we need to configure them if they are not configured, and do everything basically. So we would eventually like to have people who are responsible for that. But for now, that's what we do. And we are sorry. Some of these things would happen. And we, again, thank you for those who are helping us into getting into this point. I mean, even the fact that we have these mics and we have these cameras, it's because of you guys and those who keep on assisting us where they can. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
And this is probably my fault. Because again, I feel disturbed if anything that needs to go well, according to this studio, doesn't go well. Even now, you'll probably find that I'm disturbed. But let us continue.
Yeah, we're going to continue despite all the challenges. So thank you guys for giving us feedback on the chat. It's very much appreciated. So I'm going to continue, right? So Mnisi said, so you knew what he had was a gun. And then Twala said, yes. And then Mnisi said, the reason I'm asking this is because when you were asked to describe it, you said you couldn't. And then Twala said, yes. Mnisi said, then why were you not able to describe that firearm? And then Twala said, because I don't know the types of firearms. Now, in a normal court, this is where the judge would intervene to get the witness to describe what they saw. But not in Mamela's court. No. He is not interested in the witness describing the firearm, even though it's the reason why there is a court case to begin with. Right? And he's presiding over that court case. He only cares about correcting people's English. And I found that very annoying. Because that was the time to step in and said, you know what, Mr. Twala, you have to assist us, you know? You have to assist the court to understand. But hi, Retlaring. Mnisi then said, Mr. Twala, I wouldn't like to argue with you, but you said the only thing you remember was that it was black. And I don't want to make an argument out of this. Twala then said, even me, with great respect, I don't want to argue between the two of us. I'm explaining what I know. What I don't know and what I am not sure of, I don't talk about. Now this is where they really need to press on, and I felt like Mnisi is doing a great job. But then Mnisi continued to say, thank you, Mr. Twala. I will later on come to that aspect relating to the firearm. Then Twala said, okay, no problem. Now, Mnisi said, after you formulated a view that this person is not known to the house, that is when the person asked for money and cell phones. What happened after that? Then Twala said, that's when Longwa stood up. Mnisi said, now you said money and cell phone in Zulu, and you also included Sotho there. What did you say about Sotho? Then Twala said, I said money and cell phones is in English, but he didn't say in Zulu, but the way he said it and the way he spoke, he could be Zulu or Sotho, but mainly it was Zulu. Okay, that's where my confusion is, says Mr. Mnisi. Was that specifically said that makes you to say he could be Sotho? Then Twala said, I'm repeating that money and cell phones, that is in English words. What I'm saying is that the person was not of color. He was speaking like Zulu, like me. When I say money and cell phones, I'm putting Sotho, but I stick mainly to Zulu. The judge intervened and asked, how did you pick it up? Was it the accent or the pronunciation? Then Twala said, yes, we can lead to pronunciation and accent. Something like that. The accent that you picked up, was it Zulu? Then Twala said, no, he could be Zulu. What I am saying is because I spend a lot of time with Zulu people. I live in KZN and in Johannesburg. I reside in Katlehong. The way he's saying it in the person said money and cell phones, but it's the person pertaining to a person who is Zulu, just like I am speaking Zulu. It really worked on my nerves today. I was like, what? This is harder than it's supposed to be. It's harder than it's supposed to be. And then the judge said that for me, in my opinion, at this point, I've started feeling annoyed with the judge as well, because I felt like instead of persuading the witness to answer the question, he's busy putting words in his mouth. Right? He was starting now to put words in his mouth, and I found that very annoying. Mnisi then said, Mr. Twala, are you running away? And what I mean when I say he's putting words in his mouth, there was no need for him to say pronunciation or accent. That's like changing what the witness was trying to say. Is it not?
Yeah, it is. It is changing what the witness was saying, and it has been happening on a slow pace. But I've been seeing it. I mean, during the times of Butefo, even TT, it sort of does not answer the question. I mean, whether you say it's an accent, whether you say it's pronunciation that you thought it was. It doesn't make sense. And in fact, the judge... And it
doesn't take away the fact that
the judge got it wrong. The judge got it wrong.
Yeah.
The judge say, is it accent and pronunciation? And then Twala says, it is pronunciation and accent. Because you know how it does. He speaks, he makes something short very long. Yes. But eventually it did say accent. And the judge confided this conversation into pronunciation. He said pronunciation in correction. He said that. In fact, that's a lie, because I was listening to this person. It's a lie. This person said, yes, it is pronunciation and accent. It could be pronunciation and accent. That's same way as you said it. That's why I'm saying that this man is correcting people, yet he also does not capture what needs to be captured correctly.
Yes.
And then he ends up enforcing the wrong narrative.
Yes.
I mean, I have a voice of that thing. If anyone disagrees that was the case, I can just take a clip and put it here after this video. You will hear this man says pronunciation and accent. And then we argue about that thing as if now they didn't say that. We now stick to pronunciation. which is wrong, by the way, because this man admitted, and now he's happy sitting on the corner there. This is where it's wrong. This is why this thing is wrong. This guy is not going to correct Judge Maumela to say that, no, but I did say that it's pronunciation and accent. Because, I mean, we are leaping in defense of this man. You know, you are coming up as a person who's for me, I feel like this case, this judge, most of the things are predetermined. You know, that's my feeling. You know why I say that?
Why?
There is a point where he says, in terms of the issue of whether it was Sotho or Zulu is not important. Let me find a way, because I need to put it the way he said it. It just didn't make sense to me, Emily. How can a person continue? Because I haven't reached that side. On my side, I'm going the old way. So,
well, Mnisi then said, now Twala doubled down, of course, on Sotho, saying that the judge mentioned accent and pronunciation. He did not mention Sotho, attempting to take out of the record the word Sotho. And it felt like the judge was helping him there. Now, Mnisi asked, was it because of his pronunciation that made you to create an impression that this person was not pure Zulu? The interpreter complained about the length of the question, and he says that, why did you say it was a glimpse of Sotho? This is Mr. Mnisi. Was it because of accent or pronunciation? And then he said, yes. You said yes. Then Twala said, we spoke about Zulu, not Sotho. Then Mr. Twala said, Mr. Mnisi said, Mr. Twala, why do you say there was some Sotho in your testimony? Then Twala said, now the question is right. My answer is the time I wrote the statement, I said this person wanted money and cell phones, and I cleared the money and cell phone in an English word. But what I'm saying is that this person they were not white, they were black. Not that they were Sotho, but because I am in Johannesburg, but it was towards isiZulu. Even in the statement, that is what was written. Okay. And then I felt like I own goal, Gele. He couldn't answer this question. He failed this Mali. Even a Sotho speaking person can say imali nama cell phones, right? And after that much back and forth between Mnisi and Twala on whether the alleged first intruder was Zulu or Sotho, there was an adjournment. There had to be an adjournment so that they go through the records.
There's always going to be a problem with this thing. There's always going to be a problem. And I mean, even Malo is sitting back now watching because, I mean, if you have a judge who's fighting your battles,
just chill.
What would you do? To me, it looks like the judge is fighting the battles. I mean, Baloyi should be doing the objection and whatnot.
Yes.
But the judge is just, don't put words in his mouth. You know, such words. It's not your position. Your position is to judge.
You know, I felt like
I'm even questioning, in fact, your position to say that if you are enforcing wrong things such as pronunciation only, he said pronunciation only. So how are you going to judge if your notes are wrong?
You
know, you have already enforced this thing, and then you belittled it in a sense of saying whether the issue of Zulu Sotho is not of that importance, unless you are still going to engage me as to why is it important. Simple. You don't need to go to school of law why that thing is important. You have Zulus there,
pure
5 of them
Zulus
as accused, 5 pure Zulus, not mixed breed or whatever that you can be. You have pure Zulus in your stand,
yes.
5 of them.
Yes.
You know, coming from villages.
That's why that was so important for
clearly,
Mr. Mnisi.
Clearly, it doesn't need someone's IQ to be very high to actually see that. This question is going to that direction. Not unless then you wanted Mnisi to preempt what is his direction with this question, in a sense, so that he can help this person who's standing on the stand and confused. By the way, also in a sense, for me, that man is so confused. I mean, that question is clearly saying that it's like, you know how law is, man. If you say someone came into my house, was an intruder, he was very, very, very dark. You know? And then the person standing on a stand there is so light, clearly yellow bone. You know, clearly it's a wrong person.
Clearly,
Clearly it's a wrong person.
but then Mr. Mnisi had to emphasize. I mean, he said in cross-examination, you said the first intruder said cell phones and money. He had said in Zulu, you also included a Sotho word there. And then Twala said, those are lies. I never said that he put a Sotho word. Then Mnisi said that it's a very serious allegation. Maybe we can go to the records. The judge refused and said he doesn't want to enter that terrain. It's not something that was said today. It is turning on to something very, very vital, asking Mr. Mnisi, is it very, very vital? And then Mnisi said, of course, I would not be pursuing this line of cross-examination if it was not vital. You know, it is very vital to my case, of course. And can the court assist with what has been captured in the notes? Then the judge said, if he does not write every word, it would be humanly impossible for him to do that. So yeah, the legal teams now.
Why does he keep on saying repeat the name of the people and whatnot? And I mean, if it's humanly impossible, my good Lord, why do you need the names in that order? Can you repeat the names? Why? Why? And if you are not writing anything, what transcript is gonna help you? The person can also make a mistake.
Who's writing the transcript? You know, it happens.
And I can assure you, probably this one is gonna have a lot of errors because of that back and forth issue where people. At some point, I was also confused.
I was like, this is dragging longer than I thought it would. But then they had to listen to the recordings. Another judgment, they listened to the recordings. And the judge said in his notes from the 2nd of May 2023, he captured that on the 2nd of June, Twala said the person demanded cell phones and money. He was speaking in Zulu. The judge said on the 5th of May, he noted Twala saying he cannot recall if the intruder pointed the firearm. He spoke in Zulu. Sesotho was also featured. The word Sotho was mentioned under cross-examination.
I mean, how do you determine if a person speaks Sotho by saying money
cell
and
phones
cell phone?
And money.
So how is that possible? Only two ways.
Hi.
You already have an accent and everything there.
Hi. So Mnisi, after going through the records, they established that Twala said the intruder said Inisi Zulu cell phones and money, although he did not say Ucingo in Zulu.
You know what I would have done?
What would you have done?
If the court allows such things, there are people there who are watching. I would have said, my lord, can I demonstrate this thing? So that we gather if this man really is capable of detecting the accent out of the person. Can I have one person there without saying whether they are Zulu or Pedi stand up and say cell phone and money? I would like the witness here to actually detect if this person has an accent of Zulu or Sotho. You know, even if he says there's a mixture. But if he gets one correct, then at least we can rely on his statement of saying that he sort of got that out of this person based on the accent and pronunciation. Because, how? Cell phone and money, it's a straightforward thing.
Yeah, that was very frustrating, you guys. I'm even trying to shorten it because it took so long, longer than I had expected. But you know what? After the adjournment, Mthoko had to apologize. He did apologize to the lawyer from Advocate Mnisi for saying that the Sotho word was not there when it was actually there. It was confirmed. Judge Maumela confirmed that the word was there, and it was confirmed that the Sotho word was there. So yeah, I had to cut that brief because it was a lot. I just didn't understand. Moving on, Mnisi asked, after the gunman entered that Longwe and stood up, immediately after that, what did Longwe do immediately after he jumped out? Let's take it in a slow motion. Twala stood up and pushed the intruder and ran out of the house. This is what Twala said. He said Longwe stood up and pushed the intruder and ran out of the house. Mnisi asked, at what point were you able to see where Kelly was? And then Twala said no. And Mnisi said at that time, you didn't know that there was a second intruder. Then Twala said, yes. Mnisi, and then immediately after that unfolded, what happened? Then Twala said, I remember they stood up now. Senzo and Tumelo and what I remember is that I took my phone. Then Mnisi asked, what exactly did Senzo do? Then Twala said they pushed each other and then Senzo pushed this person towards the kitchen. Then Mnisi asked, at that point, it's just Senzo and this guy who had the gun, and Senzo was pushing him towards the kitchen. Then Twala said, I wouldn't say it was Senzo alone because Tumelo was also there. And the time Tumelo got up, I had also turned my back as I was grabbing my phone. Mnisi then asked, I'm trying to fathom or imagine this kind of pushing you're talking about. I'm unable to arrive at a proper situation as to how this happened. Maybe before I proceed, is it your testimony that you do not know whether Tumelo was part of the pushing? Then Twala said, when you refer to the pushing, we use the word wrestling. So do we stick to the word?
Deviating, like deviating.
Oh my God.
Deviating. Like that's basically, this guy is we have those players in football that we know when we are winning 1-0 and the team is difficult to play against. We need to finish the game. The game is about to finish. 70 or something. Those guys who take the ball to the corner and then stand there and balance and keep that ball for like 5 minutes. This guy is doing that. I mean, you talk about pushing, you put a blame and each and every time he keeps on putting a blame on someone else.
Wait.
Like he puts a blame on this guy. You can even tell his face changes all the time. This guy speaks.
Yeah.
He's like, where did I say that? It's like, who said that? And then he'll be like, because I recommend him. He's the most calm person.
Yeah, he's very calm.
To be able to not engage in the dialogue of, I did not say that, you said that, don't say I said that. Just, this guy has been, you should tell me, you guys said it's a scuffle, it's a whatever. You want to say it's a scuffle, call it a scuffle, they'll correct you along the way, man.
He
reached that point of saying, say whatever you want to say. Call it a scuffle, call it a tussle, call it anything.
Call it a fight, call it whatever you want to call it. But then I thought Tumelo was the worst, I thought Tumelo was the worst, but after today, Mthoko takes the cup. Today.
And by the way, Emil, while we remind people to press that like button and subscribe, those who haven't subscribed, we thank those who are joining the membership of being a CEO of this YouTube. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let us recommend again the Ramusibeti.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, maybe they work together most of the time, but he's been behind that man.
Yeah.
Mnisi.
Yeah.
He's been behind Mnisi all the time.
Yes.
From what we deduced from his cross-examination, he's the master of how to become. At some point, Mnisi wanted to lose it.
Yep.
But this guy, I think he calms him down. He was eventually calm.
True. This guy's a BP godimo, like calm down. This must finish this cross-examination. Now there was a debate on whether to use the word pushing or scuffle or wrestling. The judge now said the witness is reminding them to use wrestling, completely ignoring that the witness is the one who first brought up the word pushing in their statement.
Yes.
And it was not the defense attorney. So Mnisi explained that he is still in the sitting living room, not the kitchen. We are not yet in the kitchen. That word of wrestling and scuffle and whatever
We'll
is used
start at the
with
kitchen.
reference to the kitchen. Then Mnisi argues that we are not yet in the kitchen, okay?
Yeah.
And then Twala said, was asked to demonstrate the pushing. Then he said he can't describe the scuffle towards the kitchen. So Mnisi said, you are able to say they are pushing each other towards the kitchen. Is that now what you are saying, Mr. Twala? And then Twala said yes. Mnisi then asked, now describe it. You saw it. Twala said, I wouldn't be able to. Mnisi says, why?
You know, you know why it is difficult for this man to explain the positions.
Why?
Because if he was to explain them, the positions, I mean, then someone comes and say, we were dealing with a man who had a gun. Then it will just mess things up.
Oh,
Because the question is who?
okay.
Who shot who? What? How? Because if you say Senzo was facing a door, you would need to explain a lot of things. You will need to even explain if there's a penetration on the door. If Senzo was the one facing the door, because that means the bullet then will come straight. It would not need to come through the door.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So it would come straight
It will come straight.
to the side of, I think, a fridge or something.
Yes.
There is a lot of things at stake there. If this man was to explain with you who was facing what. But what caught my attention there,
Okay.
and I want you to kind of have a relaxed mind now, because I want you to look at it this way. The manner in which Mthoko is explaining this whole scuffle and how it transpired, what happened, who did what, it is very scary. And maybe Emily, you should finish about this whole scuffle. Then I will be able to elaborate why I'm saying it is very scary. For me, I would be scared.
Well, they asked him why. Twala said, now you want me to describe the pushing towards the kitchen, and I say I then turn around to fetch the phone. At the time, I was fetching the phone. Mr. Twala, the fact that Senzo and the first intruder pushed each other was introduced by you. Is that not so? And then Twala said, yes. Mnisi then said, then describe the pushing. Then the judge asked Mnisi if it's fair. The witness is saying these people are logged. Wabana manje, he introduced a new word. Logged into one another.
And he goes further to even assume that if a scuffle happens, people would need to lock into one another.
Yes. It just kept going down. And I'm like, yo, this is the reason why most judges we've seen keep quiet, and they only intervene when they have to rule or make a ruling.
Your job is not to correct English. Your job is to listen and detect where lies are being said. Because when you make your ruling, you are going to have to explain yourself as to why that ruling happened. Now, in a circumstance where we found you defending a lot of time, defending this witness, who sounds like is found wandering, clearly, we can almost say that everything is almost closer to the truth from according to where you stand. This is what we are seeing. Not unless you have a surprise for us. Unfortunately, this is on public platform.
Unfortunately.
So we are going to look at this thing. As much as you went to school to do all this law thing, we as people also need to look at how this law applies to us.
Yes.
And how does it affect us.
Yes.
I mean, you cannot be entering into a situation where you have to explain the scenarios where you were not there.
Hey, Batong, guys, how? Tell us.
Even give your memo.
Would you be
as
comfortable with a judge who did that?
as
in your,
to what
in your,
the
in your
judge is
case?
thinking, according to my
I
thinking?
wouldn't. In
According
fact,
to
I
my
would
thinking.
complain. I wouldn't be happy at all because I could see that, you know what, it's not looking good. It's not looking good.
According to my thinking, I think that there was a scuffling. According to my thinking, I think the hands were locked.
As if you were there.
Were you there, my lord?
My lord, were you there?
Were you there? Were you there, Your Honor? Me? Do you perhaps want to come and testify at some point? Because why are you doing this?
Why? It doesn't make any sense.
Let us
so
continue.
Mnisi then continued and said, according to this witness, these people locked each other. The judge then got in and seeing that, you know what? He said, that's me using the word. Don't attribute that to him. I'm describing what I am hearing, what I am saying. You can't push one another without there being contact. Locked means in the sense of being in contact with one another. And I'm like, I want to get much. I get you. This is not professional. It's not good.
I don't understand why.
It's not good.
Why is he found explaining a lot of things for this guy?
It's not good.
Just let it go. Let it be.
Then Mnisi said he wants to understand the context of the pushing, how the pushing happened. The judge says that more than once he said he was not able to. Again, why is the judge defending the witness? Why? The judge wants him to ask whether the pushing happened from behind or the front or the side.
My worry about this, I would be tempted to say that the judge wants to finish the case very fast, close the case very fast. But then I remembered that this is the very same court, High Court, that didn't have an interpreter, a mere interpreter that is supposed to come and interpret. There was no reserve interpreter for such big cases that we have. And this is the same court that the same interpreter knew that he was supposed to go to another court if he did go to another court. And he failed to remind the court that you must find an alternative. You know, very, very, very convenient. You know, so are they in a hurry? Maybe yes, maybe no. Maybe they are not in a hurry. You know, they become agitated when questions that are of importance are asked. You know, you end up putting questions for people.
Yes.
Maybe, is this what you want to say? What position? Eventually, because you are coming to people's nerves and you have the power of overwriting everything they say, they will be forced then to agree with you now and then.
Yeah.
But it's not that they want to do that and they want to say that. And that sort of kills the whole purpose of cross-examination. You know, there is perjuring, there is doing all these other things that you should be calling out. But that is not perjuring. That is someone seeking clarity. Clear clarity. What position? Where's the scuffle? Scuffle can happen. I mean, the wrestling can happen while the others are facing the others, the other one facing the other side, holding that person from the back, and he says you must say what position. And
yeah, it was very frustrating, guys. Then I'm gonna jump a few sections.
He came with that thing of tussling and whatnot and pushing.
He did.
He came with that thing. So if you say people were pushing each other, clearly you know how they were pushing each other. Was I pushing you using my hand? Was I pushing using my chest? You know that.
You know.
And weird enough. Hey, but continue.
And then Mnisi says, there we go again. Okay, guys, I had to jump because this is a lot. There we go again. There is a scuffle between Senzo, Mr. Madlala, the first intruder, and the second intruder. Now I want you to explain that which you exactly saw, which was happening, that you were referring to as a scuffle even before you could concentrate on the child. Then Twala said, I won't be able to explain exactly what was happening because I'm explaining that there were 6 people before me. Then for you asking me about are there people in front or to this side, the woman? So I won't exactly know what happened, what was holding, or what was I holding, or what they were doing. But there was a scuffle between the 4 I am describing, and the other 2 was hitting the one with the gun because he was this side. We didn't see the side because we can't see him. Then Mnisi said, you say you could not see what was happening in the scuffle between Senzo Meyiwa and the tall guy because there were these people in front of you who were hitting the guy with the gun or with the crutches. So they were hitting the gunman with the crutches. Then Twala said, I don't want to tie myself to your question because you are saying exactly. So exactly means I must say word to word that you saw this. It's that exactly of yours. I'm like, yo, Mthoko, yeah. And then the witness was becoming rather, difficult. And the honorable judge did not advise for the witness to answer the question. He was now deviating to exactly. Then Mnisi then asked, what did you see? Then Twala said, Senzo was pushing the gunman at the door, Tumelo, and the second intruder. Then Mnisi then asked, thank you. In the heat of that moment, what did you do? Then Twala said, I was not in the midst of that scuffle. I took the little boy Christian and brought him on my left. My priority at the time was to move to the child to this side. Then Mnisi asked, just for clarification, you are saying Zandi and the mother were having crutches. Both of them, were they hitting? Then Twala said, yes, I would say the gunman. Who were they hitting? And then Twala said, yes, I would say the gunman. Then Mnisi asked, in relation to the door, and as the scuffle was happening, was the gunman facing in relation to the door that goes outside from the kitchen? Where was he facing? And then they pulled out photo 15 exhibit B, which was the photo of the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
Then Twala said,
just to disturb you, tandem team. Guys, what about the translator? The translator is also giving some answers for me.
Yeah,
like
he was.
Look, I don't want to talk much about the translator. As I've put it, this is the same man who probably knew that he had another court session. He should have let the court know that that was the case
in advance.
Then maybe a holiday from Mthoko was necessary before this whole kumbaya. It was important, and maybe good way of saying things is important also. And it depends. These people know each other. They practice. They know, you are facing Mnisi. Hey, Mnisi is maybe strong here, weak there. Maybe. We don't know. This is our own observation. I mean, I don't believe at this age, we can have a situation in the High Court where we don't have an interpreter and the case is postponed.
Aye. Nami bengiqala ukuyibona, bengiqala ukuyiva. Nami bengiqala ukuyiva. Usually, no, I haven't seen such. I haven't. It was my first time experiencing it via the television.
I've seen it now. I would say,
now I know.
There is a situation where a case can be postponed because an interpreter is not there. One day forfeited.
Bengazi. Athi funda kula uzofunda.
You can continue, Amen.
So yes, and then Twala said he can't say who exactly were all the 4 witnesses there. He points Zandi and her mother, and 4 were on the other side. So the judge saw clarity, and he said this side means towards the ark or the fridge or the stove. So that's what he initially said, that Zandi and her mother were by the fridge and the stove. Then Mnisi asked, when the first intruder was hit by Zandi and her mom whose crutches, where was he facing? And then were they hitting him, his back against them, or were they hitting him in the front? Then Twala said, I can't remember. Mnisi, when they hit him, were they people between the person being hit and these 2 ladies? Then Twala said, I don't see or think that there were people in between. This also dragged on and on and on about finding out whether there were people in between the people that were hitting with the crutches and the gunmen. So I'm just gonna... It took a long time now.
And
It was, exhausting.
I'm not going to lie to you. Mm-hmm. I would get irritated if I was an advocate to that judge. I would get irritated. It is unfortunate that we have to see that. We are told that people who are at the field of law, they are arrogant. But I think we are witnessing some level of arrogance here that would actually drag the case and even sway the case into a direction that is not desirable, in a sense, according to me, just because. And that is a danger of trusting a person and calling a person my lord, because as much as you are taught at school for how many years, 4 years if you did LLB, and then you practicing, there is no way you can divorce your emotions if you are an emotional being. You cannot divorce that thing. So how then do you separate between law and emotions?
It's very difficult. It's difficult. And once they see that you are reactive, they are going to capitalize on that. That's for sure. We've seen it before.
We have seen it before.
Yeah. So you can't even be emotional. It must just be a robot in jail and be like, okay, moving on. Now, court came back after a long adjournment. So this is where things got very interesting. Mnisi said, we're at a point where you said...
Majola say there is no sound. I mean, you're saying there's no sound, but I am seeing sound on my side. Is there anyone who's not...
Is there anyone else who can't hear what I'm saying?
So we are going to have to wait. While we are waiting, please subscribe and like the video. We have 414 people. We have 98 likes. Can we have some 100 and something at least? For those who are still maybe typing, to tell us if there's sound. Because when you say there's no sound, we stop, we pause.
We can't continue if there's no sound.
We have to wait for you to confirm it. Okay. No, the sound
is clear.
It's clear. Okay. Well,
we can continue. This is now after the long adjournment. Okay, Mnisi said, we're at a point where you said that you cannot explain how the first intruder was hit by the two ladies with the crutches. You said in the schemeness, you were next to Christian, and then you took him out, and then you put him on your left side, and then Twala said yes. Then Mnisi said, was he still in the kitchen? Then Twala said no. Where did you find Christian? Then Twala said next to the ark. Where did you take him to? And then Mr. Twala said the left-hand side as you go to the sitting room. And Mnisi asked immediately after that, what did you do? Then Mr. Twala said, after that, I didn't take much time. Then there was a gunshot. Mnisi then asked, when the firearm went off, you were in the ark, sitting room or kitchen? Then he said, I would say the ark. Twala says when the gunshots went off, he was in the ark. So Mnisi then said, who is in the kitchen? Then Twala said, he says at the time it was Zandi, her mother, Meyiwa, Madlala, and the two intruders in the kitchen. So Mnisi then asked, how many people were in the kitchen? Then Twala said, to me, there were 6. Then they showed the photo again, photo number 15 of the kitchen. Then Mnisi said, how were these 6 people positioned in there? Let's start with the first intruder, the gunman. Where was he? Then Twala pointed to a position on the pictures. He says they were all clustered on the right side of the kitchen next to the sink. Then Mnisi said, so you are saying all these people were clustered there? Then Twala said they were in the kitchen, yes. Then Mr. Mnisi said, you pointing to the right side of the kitchen where there is a yellow mark, and you're saying all the people were clustered there. Then Twala said, as I am saying. And then Mr. Mnisi said, but earlier on you said on the very same photo, you said the 2 women were at the position that was not visible on the photo. Then Twala said, yes, you're right. But what you are saying, I will have a problem with, because I did not say that they were not in a place that is visible. I even made reference to the fridge and stove, that they were standing there. Rectify that mistake. Uyabusa Mthoko, uyabusa Shem. Then Mnisi said, you said the two ladies were next to the fridge, and when the rest of the gentlemen were on the other side of the photo where there is a yellow mark, how many people were in the kitchen? You said 6. Then all of them are just next to the yellow mark. The interpreter said that he remembers what he interpreted. And that is the part I think you were talking about, that the interpreter is actually the one who miscommunicated what was supposed to be said.
Yes.
Then Twala said, I said to you, I made a reference to the stove. I remember what I said. There was a back on off about the fridge. Then Mnisi said, you saying all these people were clustered in this place you are pointing. Then Mr. Twala said, although I won't be exactly, he now pointed towards the door. But if you are mentioning the word clustered, maybe I'm interpreting the word wrong. Okay.
Yes.
And then Mr. Mnisi said, according to your testimony, as soon as you heard the sound of the firearm, you ran out of the house. Then Twala said, yes. Mr. Mnisi, where were you from? Mr. Twala pointed, not far from the ark. As you were taking the first step to run through that door, what happened? Then Mr. Twala said, I remember when I ran out of the door, I met Senzo going the other way on my way out. Okay, so Mr. Mnisi then said, is Senzo the only person you came across? Then Twala said, I only remember Senzo. Mnisi said, were there other people? Then Twala said, I didn't see clearly what was happening. Mnisi then asked, were they still there? Twala said, the shot had gone off and people were scared differently. They ran going in different directions. So Mr. Mnisi then said, you can't say if others also went out through the door. Then Twala said, I was the first one to go out the door. Amongst the people that were in the kitchen, no one went out before me. I was the first one to go through the door. Then Mr. Mnisi said, when you went out of the door, the gunman was still around that area. Then Twala said, I could say that, yes, he was still there because I left him in the house. And Mr. Mnisi then said, and when you went out, he didn't say anything to you. Then Twala said, he didn't say anything to me. Yeah. Mr. Mnisi then said, that goes to the second intruder. Then Twala said, the second intruder said nothing, but he went out after me.
Yes, there is one thing that I wanted to say before I even forget. What I heard there, let me tell you what I heard.
Okay.
This man is talking about, and this is where I picked up this thing, when he was talking about Christian. Is it Christian?
Yes, Christian.
Christian.
Yes.
This man, there is an intruder in the house. People are fighting this intruder. He stands up, listen to what he does. He goes and fetches his phone. He turns, in fact, and goes and fetches his phone.
What's in my bag? You mentioned that at the beginning of the call.
Yeah. And then after that, he realizes, oh, there's Christian here. Let me protect Christian. Okay. That's what he said. That's the word he used.
What is this?
It's like a bit of commotion, like when you're about to fight. You know, when you're about to fight,
yeah,
that is the word would actually be defined like that. When someone in Zulu says, that means there was an exchange of words and whatnot. You know, before the fight, building up to the fight. This now takes me back to say that, was there an intruder if you are going to define, but this man is a pure Zulu, ain't it?
Yes.
If you are going to define that commotion in a structure, and listen, the movement of events is sort of aligning to Iskaraklaga. So Iskaraklaga would happen between people who probably know each other mostly. Like so as that is happening, you know, we're building up to fight. I would go and fetch my phone, obviously, because I mean there's no intruder. If there's no intruder, there's no intruder, ain't it? I mean, these are people that know each other. Yes. You know, I mean, I'm a friend of Senzo. And then those people, they are just doing that commotion. And then I would be able to say, hey, let me remove a kid, you know? Yeah. Because, I mean, I'm talking about people who know each other here.
Yes.
It's not like I'm talking about people who don't know each other.
Strangers.
But let us now take back that theory to something where someone does not know the person in the house and that person is carrying a revolver whatsoever.
didn't want to say it's a revolver.
I'm just saying, whatever you can think of that card. Would you do that?
No.
It's like what you are saying is like there's a lion in the house, and then I'm busy dealing with the lion at that side, and then when are you just taking cell phones and moving things, and you are, by the way, you're preparing to go out through the very same door where I'm fighting with the lion.
Yes.
You are going to go out there.
Your plan is to run out.
Not just go out. You will go out in a style, because I will be facing back to the either bedroom or sitting room. You'll be facing out. You'll be going out. Coming across me. That's how. That's what this man is telling us. That is not a fight between people who do not know each other.
Nope.
You know, in fact, if you say there was a klaka, man, we were just drinking, and then there was this klaka that happened, and I decided to take my phone and buckle and left. And the explanation of events of what he did is indeed aligning to his klaka of people that sort of knew each other.
Okay.
That's my thinking.
It's there has to be a build-up before the actual scuffle.
Because Emily, there is no way between an intruder that is here to steal and you. Asikho isiqhaqhaqha. Lapho is either him sit down, give me the phone, or sleep face down, or just fetch the phone. There, it's I'm commanding you. I'm
clear.
in position. It's clear. Everything is precisely. You know. So now it's where is it happening?
Hi, Namangazi. I'm exhausted because of Mthoko. I'm straight gonna move to what Mrs. Steenkamp has said. Mrs. Steenkamp is the forensic. What do they call her? She was a warden officer at the time, 2014, and she was responsible for the identity kits, the drawing of the suspects, that the description that they would give to her. I forgot what they called them, but yes, she appeared on the documentary, and if you don't know who she is, check it out. So he said you went to tell Ms. Steenkamp that you told her that you did not know this person, but they were of a medium brown complexion. You estimated the age of this person to be 29 to 32 years. Twala said, yes, I may say yes for now. And then that's where another fight began, because Mr. Mnisi was like, you don't make the work of the state easier. At the end of it all, you will have to demonstrate why your testimony is reliable. The state will have to do that. And do you understand? Then Twala said yes. You also told Mr. Steenkamp that the white part of
Miss
Steenkamp that the white part of the accused eyes was red. So it means his eyes were red, right? You told her that the person has high cheekbones. The language the person used was Zulu Sotho. There again, Zulu Sotho. Again.
This man is not mistaken about this Zulu Sotho thing. What he's failing to do is to explain it. But in terms of whether is mistaken or whatnot, I don't think he's mistaken.
No,
he said this
is from
times.
2014, fresh from the incident. And then Mnisi continued to say, you also told her that the person had a weapon you identified as an old revolver. Twala said yes.
You know why,
even though I don't remember very well, but yes.
You know why this thing of an accent would be a problem?
Why?
You would say that I'm gonna make it different because I don't want to use this township. Let's say someone is from Emily from Diepsloot.
Yeah.
You grew up in Joburg.
Yeah.
He knows a bit of Zulu.
Yeah.
He knows a bit of other languages.
Yes.
That's how people in Joburg are.
Yes, multilingual. Like me, I try.
So, you see the catch here is when only if you're explaining someone like that who speaks Zulu but knows other language, you would say Zulu Sotho. And do not be mistaken, Mthoko has a family here in
Katlehong.
Katlehong. So this person qualifies to be part of Joburg people. So there is no mistake there. We are not talking about the Zulu person who was coming here for the first time. We're talking about someone who probably at some point grew up the side coming. Like we're talking about someone who knows Joburg.
Yeah.
People are mixed there.
Yes.
So that Zulu suit thing, we shouldn't take it lightly. It's not said by someone who really does not understand the culture of Johannesburg. So it's very important.
It's very important.
Very important. If you're going to repeat it, 2014, you are repeating it. Maybe you know someone. Maybe you know someone who speaks that, who has that accent, who has, because they were speaking. Twala. Something like that during that skakak.
Exactly. So there was an exchange, another quarrel in between because Mthoko decided to go left again. And then Mnisi asked, did you say it or did you not say it? Then Twala said, because he was denying saying the revolver. He was actually saying that Steenkamp is the one who made up the revolver on the statement. He did not say that. And it was a back and forth. Twala saying, I don't remember saying it. It means I didn't say it. And then that's how it got concluded. Thank you, Mr. Twala. Then he continued to say, mark my warning to you about the task that lies ahead with respect to the state. You're further told that you can only remember the hoodie, but you cannot remember the color. Twala said, yes, I can say that. Yes, I remember because it is so. Then the firearm is there as well. Then Twala said, but you can't force me to remember the gun. Beyond this identity kit, you also attended an identity parade.
I'm worried about that because it's like someone who knows that there is something that I devoted there that sort of talks about this thing. But I'm not gonna be forced to talk about this thing. In fact, someone who knows they are right, who was told, hey chief,
at some point he said that I know my rights. So
make sure
right.
sure that if you are asked to define certain things, just say you won't define it.
It's your right.
It is your right to do that, by the way. You are not wrong. We are not faulting you for that. It's your right. We are just looking beyond that and saying that, wow, you know when to use it.
Yes. At the moment, perfect moment. And then Mr. Mnisi said there was a second identity parade that you attended in Pietermaritzburg where you saw a person who had similar features to the features of the gunman. Then Twala said yes. Now this person would have been a medium brown complexion. Yes, one of the description you gave to Ms. Steenkamp, you said the gunman had dreadlocks, although you were not sure whether the dreadlocks were covering his head because you could not see their protrusions and where the hoodie was ending. You are not sure whether the dreadlocks were covering his whole head. Then Twala said yes. Mr. Twala, the state will be calling further witnesses in the matter to come and put their version of how they saw this incident unfolding. And I'm going to tell you that what it is that they will come and tell this court. One of those witnesses is Zandile Khumalo. The statement does not allow him to form part of the exhibits. Okay, so the statement didn't allow him to be placed in the exhibits. There was a suspect that came into the house. This is what the statement said from Zandi Khumalo. There was a suspect that came into the house and was whirling a firearm in the sitting room where you were seated. Then Longwe jumped towards that suspect and pushed him aside. And Longwe went out of the house. Then Kelly ran to the bedroom, which was next to the kitchen, and the second suspect followed her. Then Kelly closed the door and the suspect tried to open the door but couldn't. Is this how you also saw this incident? Well, Mr. Twala said that it was unfair on him to be questioned on a statement made by Zandile Khumalo. Zandi must come sit here and answer for herself. Then Mr. Mnisi said, you know, Mr. Twala, when you say you don't want to comment or you ask not to comment about what Zandi is saying, that sounds to me like what she's saying is true. Therefore, you have nothing to say against it. Twala, Twala then answered, I think the statement is unfair to me. I cannot comment on what Zandi says she saw. I'm saying what I saw. Well, then, yeah, there was another big herring there. Oh, my goodness.
And one thing, and indeed, Tandem team, what we have realized is that Mthoko, and his English proper. You know, it's proper English. So this person was a person who's capable of reading their own statement all the time. That thing of I didn't read this one and whatnot, were you forced not to read it? Or you didn't read it because you didn't want to? Or you didn't just ask because you trusted the person who was writing a statement? Because you cannot hide behind that thing. I'm not sure. I didn't read that one. I read that one. I remember. This one I didn't. It's my signature, yes. But maybe he's the one who put that whatever thing. I didn't put it there. I'm 100% sure. This is the time where I wish Stenka recorded this man. I wish.
Perhaps she did.
Because
You
if
never
he
know.
did, whoa.
That would be nice.
That would be nice.
Because, wow.
That would be nice. Because, I mean, this man, selective amnesia, man.
Way.
There's too much selective amnesia here. And you tell me that on a good day, you are going to judge for this person. As a judge, I'll probably be pissed.
Hey, yeah, and I would be upset too.
You're wasting
because
my
you're
time.
wasting time.
You're wasting my time.
You're wasting time, and it's.
I mean, I've
something.
had situations where judges have thrown out the case. This thing has no substance. This is the case that doesn't have substance. I don't care how long it took these people to combine this case. And the question is still remaining when you hear these people speak. And look at it this way. We read a paper here at some point, Emily, that was saying that Joyce will tell is set. People who were in the house, they are talking different tunes in a sense.
Yes.
They must brought into questioning, and then we'll probably be in position of knowing what happened in that house. So I do not understand why now it becomes difficult for people to actually comprehend that. Unfortunately, they forgot that thing.
Yes.
We
they
forgot
did.
that thing.
We had forgotten about it, and now these
But
actions,
looking at this thing that Mthoko is doing, it's difficult for me to actually understand it. To actually understand why we are saying that 375.
yes,
It's difficult for me to actually understand why do we have to what do we call it? Do we have to focus on this one, which is a late one?
yeah, this one was supposed to follow 375, but yeah, kunzima. But then let me quickly close up so that we can open the lines. Yes, the judge said that if there's no comment, what did he say? Is that what he says he does not have to comment about? And then the state, I felt, fed words into the witness's mouth at that point, but then Advocate Baloyi stood up for the first time in a very long time to object. And then he said that statement could be left for argument. He even quoted what Kelly had said in the statement, not what was said about Kelly in the statement before. He said the witness answered that Kelly Khumalo was standing when the first armed robber entered. It appeared that Kelly went to a particular door. He did not take much notice of Kelly Khumalo. He did not make much notice of what Kelly Khumalo was doing. And that, Mr. Mnisi felt like was answering the question for the witness instead of having the witness answer the question themselves. So he was very troubled by that. Then the judge says if he says no comment, he must leave it so. So the court was ruling on that part. And then he said, I never said that I'm making a ruling. So at this point, guys, I was exhausted. I was exhausted with Judge Maumela, and I just decided, you know what, I'm logging off. Mr. Twala, I hear you when you say you have no comment on what Zandi said. Then Zandi will still come and tell the court. Then he continued to read from the statement of Zandi Khumalo. Myself, Senzo Mthoko, the mother, went to the first suspect carrying the firearm, and you pushed him towards the kitchen. Then Twala said, yes, I hear you, no comment.
All right, Emil, let me just do this for now.
Yeah.
Can we have one caller coming through? I see here other people have been talking to us on WhatsApp, but can we have one caller coming through, perhaps to say what they think this case is going about? Because I think you need to now and then rest. You've been working. We will finish it, but can we have people calling through? Because hey, for me, this case, guys, it's draining. I'm not involved, but sometimes I feel like I'm involved. Sometimes I feel like I'm part of what is happening. And the painful thing is that some of us who are soccer fans, we felt like Senzo was a family in a sense. That's a painful thing. But today we are faced by a situation where we don't even know whether he will ever get justice. If there's anything called justice, we don't know. We don't know. We don't know. I mean, I'm even looking at his picture right now, and I'm thinking, how long is it gonna take for this case to finish? Yes, it's a good thing that we have now a lot of lawyers who are able to poke holes and others coming and cementing the situation. But that is also in its own prolonging this case. For me, this case, this is the case we should be closing, not the other one. Perhaps we should go look on the other one with more scrutiny. Check what is it that made it or disqualified that case. Maybe the junior was on point. Maybe the junior was saying something very, very, very profound about this case. Because if you listen to these people who have come to testify here, you can tell. You can really tell that this is what this person was hearing. All this time he was investigating these people. They were speaking, spinning, turning around, moving, trying to... It's so frustrating. And who came and said this case should supersede 375? Who made that decision, and on what grounds? Because now we are faced with a situation where we cannot really, I can't fathom why the other case was paused. Because it will come back, I think, if what they are saying about the other case, it will eventually come back and it will stand. We would have wasted a lot of state fund dealing with a case where people are twisting and turning. They explain a revolver. I didn't say it was a revolver. I didn't say it was an old revolver. But you explained it there. Why can't you explain the same thing? If I'm telling if I'm telling the truth, if something is green, there is no way it's gonna be green. And I didn't say it was green with the tainted color. It's green. You said it's green. Repeat that thing. It comes natural because you're telling what you saw. Why is it difficult? Why are we finding it difficult? Why are we even fighting in court now, begging now for you to tell us the truth about your friend? I don't understand. I'm trying to fathom. Let me answer this. Mzansi Reality, hello. With the tainted color. Mzansi Reality, hello. Try to reduce behind. Okay. We have that one. I think he was waiting to hear me from the back. You can continue, guys, calling. Let me put it on a loudspeaker so that I can hear you guys calling. Because sometimes, hey, I'm so, I'm feeling warmed up. So please continue calling. If I haven't answered you, it's probably because I didn't hear. Now we are in position of hearing you. Please call again so that we continue talking about this thing. And for those who are commenting here, I see that there is Ozi Dube. These Twala brothers have something big to tell us. They must investigate. They must be investigated. I'm being very careful. They must investigate very careful. And then we have Lonwabo Zweni. Tumelo said the first intruder was Bongani Danzi. Oh yeah. I thought you were talking about someone. Mzansi Reality, hello. Yebo, sir.
Hi, how are you?
We are good, and you?
Oh, I'm good. Greet Emily. How are you, Emily?
It's greeting you. I'm trying to fix Emily's mic. It had a problem, but yeah, she's greeting you.
Okay.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Okay.
Let me just go straight to the case.
Please.
Yes, this case is not going anywhere.
Mm.
There's no direction.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Hollywood movie.
It is. It
It's a
does look like
stage
that.
case. It's
Hey.
a stage case.
Mm.
When you look at how things are unfolding,
Mm-hmm.
you can see how the directions of this case where it's going.
Mm-hmm.
This judgment.
Mm-hmm.
No.
You know, people, maybe they would think, hey, you guys are taking the judge. Maybe the judge is still gonna show us something different.
There's nothing you can see.
Yeah.
There's nothing. Really, there's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Because always he's defending.
Mm.
But it's a stage. That job's for Baloyi. But for him, always to jump to the council that is defending other. I mean, the way Mnisi was cross-examining.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that this man is already take a decision on the accused people.
Mm.
So to be honest, Jeff was all right about this.
Yeah.
Jeff was all right, right about this. This case actually doesn't have any direction.
Yeah.
Mthoko is contradicting the statement, and then also the following witness they are going to twist.
Mm.
So, but credit to Mnisi. Today, actually, for me, he really did a good job. I wish tomorrow maybe he can just poke a lot of holes so that this witness can crack. But to be honest, we are not going anywhere.
We are not going
I'm
anywhere.
surprised because Minister of Justice, Ronald Lamola, is just waiting, quiet about this case. Actually, this case supposed to have something like what can we call a commissioner, something that maybe they can go deeper, whereby they can interview everyone. To be honest, this case is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
The alleged that Typho was placing proves that is true.
No,
the state is involved. The number one office is involved in this matter.
Hey, it's allegedly.
Actually, the things because it's alleged. The things because of the lawsuit that is coming. That is why the state now is defending. And when you see the witness also, they are now fearing for their life. They are defending for themselves to go in prison.
Yeah.
So,
no.
But let's just wait for tomorrow. Maybe we can see something. Credit to Advocate Counsel Charles Mnisi. He really did a well job. I think tomorrow is going to also do a wonderful job. So Mzansi, you're doing a really good job. Keep up on this matter. Maybe one day the family of Senzo and the South African people will see a justice because of this show. We are really blessed to have you on this matter.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
It's a marathon. Hey, Mr. Anonymous.
Yeah, Emily. I just wanna look at Sheila Jones, but my brother, you've been interrupting. Hey, too much. I listened from the beginning. Please tone it down.
No. It's not a problem. I don't mind at all. I feel like he should say some of the things that he wants to say at the moment that they come to him, because when you want to revisit the thought you had while somebody was busy saying something, you forget it, right?
So, Sheila Jones, this is how we roll here.
Yeah.
We have Zanzi Reality. Hello. I was not planning to answer you, but I wanted to Emily to finish and then we can answer. But yeah, shoot.
That's reality. Hello.
Right. Okay.
No, it's not a problem at all. I don't mind pausing because I know those important, pertinent thoughts run away, especially on a live video. You want to hold on to your thoughts, and then the next thing when someone speaks a lot, and then they run away. So usually when he pops up with something, I know it's gonna be good. So I just let it happen.
Right. So basically, we have to talk like this. I mean, we are basically not in court. We are just a public opinion court.
and we are not broadcasting.
There is no formality.
Yeah, there's no formality.
We just don't have to. We just don't like people who troll and whatnot. But Emily, continue finishing that statement. So I don't want to disturb you. Just finish what you need to finish if there's some.
Okay, so Mr. Twala said, I hear you when you say you have no comment on what Zandi said. Then Zandi will still come and tell the court that myself, Senzo Mthoko, and the mother went to the first suspect carrying the firearm and you pushed him towards the kitchen. Twala said, I hear you, no comment. So in this statement, Mthoko is included in the pushing in the kitchen. Uzandi uti, they were pushing together in the kitchen. Mthoko is also pushing, according to Zandi's statement.
Yeah.
So he said, I hear you, no comment. There was a point in which Kelly ran into the bedroom and the second suspect chased him, right? Did you see that or not? Mr. Twala said, I didn't see it. Then Mr. Mnisi said, were you a participant in the pushing of the gunman, the first intruder, when he was being pushed in the kitchen? Then Twala said, no. Hence, I'm giving you an answer because you're asking me a direct question. I will never answer a question if you stuck to Zandile. There is also Longwe Twala. This is what Longwe Twala will be telling the court.
Yeah.
But before that, in cross-examination of accused 1 and 2, you said the firearm was never cocked. Then Twala said yes. So then they had to postpone. Mr. Charles Mnisi stood there and looked at the judge because he wasn't sure whether it's time to adjourn or not because it was now 3 p.m. So at 3 p.m. they have to adjourn because accused 1 and 1 to 5 have to be transported to the correctional facility and they are trying to avoid traffic. I found that very interesting.
Can we have a court coming in there at 9?
It was very interesting because I was like, okay, just when it was warming up. But it's fine. We are used to it. But tomorrow start early, start on time. Let 10 o'clock be 10 o'clock, please.
Let's not have a judge that is late. Well, Emily, I'm letting calls go now.
Yeah, the calls can now come in.
It's late.
Yeah, Bodlan, Bazalwan. This is the platform to do that.
Don't forget allegedly if you are going to say something.
Don't forget, if you're going to say something.
Mzansi Reality, hello.
Hey, Mr. Anonymous and Emily, how are you?
Hi.
We are good.
Yes, I'm okay.
Yes.
I would like to put some few comments. The first one is when Mthoko was assisting in the writing of the book, he mentioned that after the book was written, he insisted that before it can be published, he needs to have a look at it so that he can be assured that it was not misquoted in the book.
Yes.
And it was just a book. It has no legal implications. But when coming to a statement where you are putting it under oath, that's where I believe is where you were supposed to be more careful of the wording and everything that you put there.
Yeah.
Because anything can be used against you in a court of law.
Yes.
And I believe when you take a statement, that get to be mentioned.
Yes.
So, but this gentleman could not bother reading those statements because he's telling us that some of them he didn't read. The most important thing that he was supposed to do is to read, but in the book, he read it and there was nothing important about it. I found it odd there.
You've got a point.
And he said it took him 2 to 3 days to read the entire book, right?
Yeah.
It took him 3 days to read that book.
A book. But the
just a book that has no legal implications.
Exactly. Which you can.
That one.
It's very, man. Like maybe they should open 375. I mean, all the answers should be there. I believe answers would be more apparently there. That's my belief.
No, I mean, I'm happy when they're busy with this one. It's going to expose the state. I'm happy about it because the states will be exposed. And that's when we'll get to see that the state is not here for us. Like in the case of Baxter, I was so happy. I was telling a guy today I work with that, I'm happy that Baxter escaped because we get to know GS4 was contracting for 40 billion a year. That correctional service. That was exposed and the contract was cancelled.
Yes.
This thing that is happening under this government is a mess.
Yeah.
So I'm happy when these things are happening this way. Let them continue with this case. But there is no way where they're going because each and every witness comes with their own vision, which contradict the other. So there is no way in hell the judge can rule in their favor.
Okay, what happens if the judge just comes and say, "Yeah, found guilty"?
Now, this case is televised, so it will be difficult for him to make that mistake, unless if it was under the carpet where nobody see what is happening. Because there is nothing pointing to this guys. Remember, in the first witness said, the tall guy, the one that was supposed to apply for bail, he said is the one that was holding a gun. The first witness said that. And according to those guys that are sitting next to each other, that guy is the tall guy. He's not the short one. The second witness comes and says, the short guy is the one that was holding a gun. So you can tell these two witnesses already, they're telling different stories in terms of who was holding a gun.
That's
that
very
alone, even if we were not to bring the other witnesses who are coming to bring more confusion, these two witnesses alone, they're giving two different versions of the story.
Yes.
Yeah, you've got a point there. You've got a point.
And again, I think they didn't want to canvas much on it. The one in the kitchen. That kitchen, I saw it. Even if I was standing there, in order for you to pass, you have to ask. Even if I was alone.
It looks like
ask.
that. Yes.
And then now again, when the swamp was happening, the door was closed. Because the neighbor said he was able to see the white shirt through the window. If the door was open, they was going to see it through the door. So the door was closed. If people were pressing each other there by the zinc, how can you open the door when someone is standing there and run away?
Well, he has testified that he has opened it according to his testimony.
He even passed by.
But he can't justify even if he's tied. But remember, there are 5 people or 6 people standing there. And if I so wish this court could go to the house and we put 6 people there and see the possibility of one having to jump all over those people and go out. Because that is impossible according to me.
Yeah, I get you. We hear you.
No. Thank you very much for your time there.
Thank you.
So, but there is one thing I wanted to ask, man. I wanted to join also, but we know with these things of internet, I failed. So I think I would need help somehow so that you can show me how it's done so that I can register. I would like to join.
Oh, you would like to join the membership?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Maybe you can use the WhatsApp line. Yeah.
Then we'll continue there.
Okay. No, thanks then.
Oh, thank you.
Bye.
Yep. Next caller.
Hey.
I'm hearing people crying here. Veiws. Veiws Akala Emily is saying that we should start early. You guys are also waking up. I'm also waking up. Emily's also waking up.
We're all waking up. The problem is,
can you imagine that we compile all these things while we are also busy with other stuff? Like, that's what is happening.
Multitasking.
I know that it looks like the way we compile it looks like we are just chilling there. No, we're working. And then we're pushing and we still have to sleep.
We have to pause the case sometimes and attend to the work. And then, it's up and up.
Mzansi Reality, hello.
That we compile all this while we are
Also
Hi,
busy
how are
with
you?
that.
That's what
It's just-
Okay, I'm gonna pass because I'm hearing myself.
looks like we are.
Okay, let's wait for the next one. Yeah, so I hear you as Nenhlanhla being, hey, I know.
Siyazama.
Siyazama.
Siyazama, it's
We
a
are
lot.
trying. It's a lot, but we will look into that.
Yeah.
But I cannot promise.
But we can't promise, hey,
that much.
because
we might at some point start early, depending on the complications that we are getting when we try to comprehend what is being said. Zanzi Reality, hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, and you guys?
We are all good.
Yeah, it's Tandy.
Hi, Tant.
I Mthoko. Mthoko, if benguye mina, I was gonna say it, I was not in the house, seriously. Because Tumelo, he said he don't remember him inside.
Mm.
And the way he says things, strange ones. There's no people that can fit in that kitchen of 6 people.
Yeah.
And women, we are not slimmed.
Mm.
I don't think they're tiny that way. Maybe the tall guy will fit there, but others, maybe they're a bit chubby.
Mm.
And so Mthoko, he's lying. And I don't know, because he said the door was open before.
Yes. Yes.
He said the door was open.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why those people, when they're scuffling, why they don't go outside and scuffle outside then. If the door was open, but I don't think the door was open as he said. And I don't know how did he open the door and passing those people. And ngalesikhathi ke ephumile again, why next door walandela alone, and then the other intruder, where was he? Did he stay or did he go? It seems like yonke into it was step by step by step. It was not like ngizoroba, ngifuna ama cell phone, ngifuna imali, and then I have to leave now.
Yeah.
But those intruders, they were just relaxed, like it was. Even when Longwe left, why they're still in the house if they were robbers? Because he can call the police.
Yeah.
And if they were intruders, they were Longwa's friend, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah, they were Longwa's friend if they were there.
Yeah.
Because he just passed easily.
Yeah.
And Togo passed easily. It means they came for Senzo, not other people. Just for Senzo.
Yeah.
If they were there. But on my seeing, I don't think they were there. And this Togo, he took the phone while people, they want phones. He took the phone, and then Sandy went to the bedroom and left the child behind. While the mother and you know, when you have to fight for your life, you saw a gun.
Yes.
You fight for your life. And so, but they were scuffling. They were not fighting. Baby. They were doing that, whatever they were doing. It's like you are friendly. Oh, my friend, we're not fighting. We're just pushing each other. How could you push? Just pushing each other while there's a gun and a knife.
Hey.
I remember one day at home, we're celebrating something, and then they came. The robbers, they just took the car. And it was so quiet. We didn't even come outside because we had guns. And why are you running towards where the gun is? Instead of going hide yourself, whatever. You can even go to the bathroom. You are not familiar with the house. There's doors there. Try all the doors and get inside. This thing of him is just a strange thing. It's just lying for each and every. And what I'm thinking, those ones are coming to witness. Witnesses, more witnesses coming. Those two, they will be like, they hated Senzo. They will be them killed Senzo. They're gonna allegedly they will put them in there under the bus, those two, because they were best friends of Senzo. And now they're making their own way on the side.
No,
This is gonna happen.
Let us see what happens. It's all alleged
Yes.
here. Nothing is real.
Yes,
We are
all
alleging
alleged.
here.
But what I'm seeing that way. It's gonna happen that way. The story is gonna change. I hope they're with their statement, they wrote it the other way. But Mr. Mnisi, I love him. I love all the lawyers. Those two lawyers, they've been working very well. They've done a good job. And I like Mnisi and Ramos.
Yes.
They're doing very well and working together even now when they're still examining there. They are they're answering each other. I don't know Shololo if he's involved with them, but if they involve to each other, this case they will win.
Okay.
That's
No,
about
thank you.
Obalaban.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Have a good
you.
evening, guys.
Thank you. For call, we're using both. I know that people are asking there. We're using both. The last caller just called now was using WhatsApp. So that's how it is. We are using both. If you want to call direct, international is plus 27 and then the number itself. Maybe
replace the 0 at the beginning with plus 27.
Yeah.
And then dial the rest of the number. You should be able to go through. Yeah, that whole scenario, I haven't thought that far, but wow.
Mzansi Reality, hello.
The other way, but Miss
Mzansi, hello.
Good evening, Mr. Anonymous.
Oh, hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Good.
It's a very good day today.
It is.
Yes, it is. It is.
Yeah.
We like that unshakable Charles Mnisi. And he's really getting us somewhere.
Yeah.
Especially on this 636 case.
Yes.
And for your good analysis, I just want to applaud you there where you played. It is because I was thinking exactly the same. It is only in a calm situation where you can think of your phone and where you can be having that heart of caring for a child that is not even yours and that you are not even familiar with. Remember, it's not even Senzo's son. But that guy had the heart to care more about the kid, while even his own friend is under attack. So it's because he was not willing to intervene in that story because it might have been something that is between them. But then he sees fit to let me keep the kid safe or something, and let me see if they can settle down. So there, you were really spot on to say it is only in that situation, but in a robbery situation, you don't have those nerves, calm nerves, never ever. The other point I want to make is just that I also agree with the other caller that says he's not. I mean, he don't see the state having a chance here of putting these people under the bus because actually there is no clear evidence, and the whole world is watching. I'm for that matter. I'm watching from Namibia, like I always do. But the whole world out there, even Europe, wherever, people are watching. And what is and that is going to be a mockery for a South African justice system. Unless there is a second thought, you never know. Every government has its own tricks. What if they gave this old man who's soon to be a pensioner now this final case to mess it up because it needs messing up, and maybe he just retire afterward. Remember, they have already started with that JSC thing. yeah, you don't know really where that is coming from. It can be a tricky a tricky part of the state.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
You don't know who drives who. Maybe it's a game they are playing there, so that that judiciary thing looks independent. That's why they are even saying it doesn't relate to this case and so forth. But you never know, because they know how that guy has been performing, and they placed him to chair this court case.
Mm. 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 Mm.
And for lastly, before I give a chance to others, is that Mthoko is very much under pressure, and he's contradicting himself.
Yeah.
He doesn't even. Where I remember the part where Baloy. Baloy came in rescuing him. That the witness had already said that in his previous statements that he said that
I remember that part, but I just forgot. What did he say?
He was saying that
he was answering
Kelly
in a sense.
Khumalo,
He said, I think he said
he
he
didn't
already
notice
talked.
Kelly Khumalo, and where he wasn't paying attention to Kelly Khumalo.
I think it was an
movement.
issue
Yeah.
of Tumelo. Wasn't it an issue of Tumelo? I think he said
No,
all you wanted to know.
No, it's Kelly. No, I think it's Kelly.
Okay.
Because the advocate was like, where was Kelly by the time? What was
Yes.
she doing? And then the advocate put it to her. Yes. And then the advocate put it to her that there's a witness between Tumelo or Zandina, who is coming to testify that Kelly ran to a certain room, and then the other one and the other intruder followed her. At that point, even if it doesn't have to we don't have to consider whatever Tumero stated in the previous statements, because even he was asked today when he was asked about the process, he didn't even mention that second intruder following anybody. He said all those people were there. All those people were there. Even Kelly was there.
Yeah, it
Lastly
sounded
but
more
not
like that.
least, I just want to clarify there where we are saying the first case is 375.
Yeah.
375 was opened in 2018 or 19. That came to be opened around that time. And the 636 is the first one that is for 2014. That is why. Yeah, that is how it has been, according to Tefo, whom we listen to very often.
Yeah.
And then he said even there is a new one that is now opened, a third case and a fourth case that it also includes the judge and so forth. For the other guy, I don't think my other colleague there got it right where he said. There's a contradiction between Tumelo and Togo's testimony to say that the second intruder is the one. I mean, the taller intruder is the one who had a gun.
Yes.
Because I remember very well, Tumelo said the tall guy, this Mbongani Sandisontans, is the one. He said he's the one. He was to Tumelo. That was that Ntanzi is the second intruder, and he's actually taller. So I don't think they contradicted there. There are things that are inconsistent, but they are going together to say the second is it's not Ntanzi. Tumelo never said Ntanzi had a gun. He also referred to him as an intruder. So I just wanted to clarify a bit there. But thank you very much. We are enjoying, and you must proceed with whatever you are doing. We are Forever with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's wait for tomorrow again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
When I think
Wait.
of Mthoko-
Very interesting question, though, that I would like to ask these people who were in the house is, as you said, when these things happen, were you guys shouting for help? I mean, can your neighbors
Screaming,
testify that, hey, we
Yo.
heard these people shouting?
Tusa. Something.
Those who were successfully
Yeah,
running
sure.
away, hiding, and all that,
Anything.
did it happen quietly?
It seems like it happened quite young.
Is there no one who was just saying,
Clutches.
"Hey, something is happening"? Like those in a bedroom, and one thing, this whole story, it's very interesting because it puts Kelly Kumalo sort of away from the scene, by all means.
However, her phone is the one that was taken.
However, from the news, we are told that he was protecting me. I think something like that. Who said he was
Yes.
protecting me? And then, in fact, Senzo is a good guy.
She was performing at Market Theatre or somewhere, Joburg Theatre, I don't remember. But she was performing somewhere and she was saying that Senzo was protecting her.
Hey.
So that is where another contradiction
So now this
is happening.
scuffle that is happening, and then previously there was that he was protecting me. So initially, we thought this man was got into met the bullet protecting the mother of a child.
At some point, we thought that for the longest time from 2014. Turns out that's not even the case at all.
You know why the story will not stand? That one of you was protecting me.
Why?
Wasn't a bullet in and out type of a thing?
I don't know.
I think it didn't it go from in
From the
and
chest
then
to the
the
back.
back.
I wouldn't.
Because if that is the case, if I was protecting you, then it would have gotten you also.
And it would have been shot from the back, right?
No, it would have been shot from the front.
From the
Even if
front.
you are protecting a person, but it gets in, it's in and out. They call, I don't know, there's a way that police use, but it's a bullet in and out. That means the second person then can still get hurt.
Yeah, if they're in close range.
But there is a story like that on the news. That I thought in fact, he was protecting me from these people. Because I think there's a story, man. The scuffle now and all
Even
this.
in the documentary, there are recordings of her saying it with her own mouth. So it's not something that we are making up. It's there. It's just that now hearing Tumelo and Mthoko's testimonies is very contradictory to that statement.
So you get in the bedroom. You are being chased by someone. You get in the bedroom. When you get in that bedroom, that person is busy persisting, trying to chase you. You
They're
still
pushing
don't
the
shout.
door.
You
And there's
still
no
don't shout.
shouting happening, no screaming, no nothing. It's all silent. Wow.
Slew Kumalo, you press that join button and then you choose your package there. I think there are 3 packages. You choose the
Yes.
one that suits you, and then you have joined. Mzansi Reality, hello.
When you get in that bedroom,
Hello, Mzansi Reality.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, yourself?
We are good.
Yes, you're speaking to Danny from Mamelodi.
Yes,
Hi,
Danny.
Danny. Welcome back.
Yes. I'm from the engineering background. I do like in the building industry and stuff like that. So what I've done, I took the Mr. Musia's what do you call it? That plan,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's sort of like you do a screenshot and then you can trace it.
Mm-hmm.
And after tracing it, you can scale it because normally a double brick wall is just you use it to scale a drawing, and then that whole thing will come up as a house plan, almost the same dimensions and stuff like that. And then what I did, I tried to put positions people in the from where the scuffle started, and then when it leads to the kitchen, and as I try as just put a normal size of a person, like not like a fat person. If you put people who are not fat close to each other, they'll close the path to go to out of the passage because it's almost like 900 when you look at the door normal door is 800 millimeter. It's not 1 meter. So if you check on the between the cabinets and the door, it's almost like 100 millimeter. So if you add the two, find out you'll have something like 1 meter.
Yes.
It's like a 1 meter passage leading to the door outside. But when you put the people in position in whatever format, it's impossible to run through them. Yes.
Yo.
And because that part it's almost like the length of that thing is from where Mthoko was to the door is 3 meters.
Hey, can you send us that thing, man? We'd like to say
Maybe we need to analyze
when maybe tomorrow, like today, then we'll prepare for it tomorrow and just look at it. It will be very interesting.
Let's do it ourselves.
Yeah, I'll put difference. Where do I send it to? To your WhatsApp line or where?
Yeah, it's WhatsApp line.
Okay, I'll do a JPEG file or something, and maybe I'll send the whole thing.
Okay.
Because I also did from YouTube, not YouTube, from maps, like you can
Maps.
from Google Maps, you can actually see the dimensions of the house. It's the yard. It's almost like 25 meter by 15. You know,
Yes.
like so it's 15. The width is 15 where the gate is to the corner where the danger box is, and going back is like 25 meters. You know, when the gate, when you turn left, you are going to the park. You know, it's almost like 150 meters from the gate. And the other thing, what they check, the houses in the locations are not that far from each other. You know, I mean, from the neighbor which was, it's almost like back to back. So the person, you can, if there's a commotion in one house, you can hear it.
Yeah.
So I'm sure if when the shot went off, I think those guys from the neighbors, they saw everything. If there was nobody who came out, they'll literally say, no, there was nobody who came out, because that is like a wall. You can just see over. If you climb maybe a chair, you can see everything that's
That's true. That's how
so
it is.
those people, I think Dumelo, who's this Mthoko, he wanted to be outside because he was seen outside. He came up with the story how he was outside. So nobody saw him. The thing of him being outside, he was not going to come. You know? Yeah, and then I think he was chased. I don't think he found himself outside by mistake. I think after Senzo was shot, maybe after the first shot, I think this guy chased him. Who's this guy? The son to Twala, the other Longwe. I think Longwe chased Mthoko outside. Because why would he be outside? He was running from something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Or
And I think
allegedly.
maybe Mthoko went down the street. When he says there was a intruder that went down the street, maybe that was Longwe. He didn't want to go back to the house. He just ran, you know. Yeah, but I'm happy with what Mr. Mnisi was doing today.
Yeah.
But I think they must find a way to put all the scenarios of, especially where the commotion or the wrestling or the what was happening, they put things in play to demonstrate that this is impossible.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I think if you exclude the cabinets, that thing is like 1 meter by 3 meters. Imagine, it's too small.
Yeah, it is too small. And in
And then
reality,
to help people, yes, because when let's say there's a person that is pointing a gun at you, and somehow you find a chance to be close to him, you aren't gonna be punching him around. You'll go for the gun because that's the most. You'll fight for the gun, actually.
Yeah.
You can't be having a story trying to hit him with a branch of a leaf or whatever. You go for the gun and you wrestle for it up until you win it. Because you know that's even if he bites you, you don't care about that. You go for the gun, you don't wrestle, you go for the gun up until you disarm them.
Yeah.
That's the normal way of things, how things you can't be hitting somebody with what you call it? The thing that's a walking stick.
Yeah.
Crutches.
You can't be beating this person got the revolver. I mean, he can finish you, all of you, but you're busy hitting him on the head, you know. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, yeah.
So why was Mthoko? Because Mthoko is a guy. Maybe those people were like, if he was at the ark,
Yeah.
those people were like five. It's almost like you can reach them. Or if you can just throw a fist, you can actually touch one of the robbers from the ark.
Yes.
Meaning he was like close to them.
Yeah.
They were touching him when they were throwing whatever they were throwing at this guy.
Yeah.
But as a guy, maybe I think maybe he's a strong, like, because Zandi I think Mthoko is stronger than Zandi. So as a guy, why would you don't want to assist in the thing that can, why you want to diffuse the situation? Why don't you assist as a somebody who's like he wants to? Why didn't he spectate instead of helping? It doesn't make sense. Because remember, according to Melo, he said I joined the scuffle later. Actually, my intention was to go out of the house. I passed these women and this robber with a gun. I jumped them over and then I wanted to go outside. And even Msholo said, you don't have a good heart. Why do you leave these women alone? You just want to run outside.
Yes.
Then he realized he couldn't go outside. And that's when he landed the punch.
Yeah.
But it's highly impossible, whatever they are trying to demonstrate. That's why he doesn't want to demonstrate how people were pushing each other, because it didn't exist. It didn't happen that way. It doesn't have that thing. He just say, he was caused to say you must just say scuffle, because scuffle can mean anything, It's not specific,
Yeah.
And he refuses to let go of that scuffle.
Yeah, no. Thank you very much, man.
Okay, man, have a good sleep. Enjoy your show, though. I'll join but I find a way to join. I joined the chillers and whatever. I think you'll be the second people to join.
Wow, that would be great. Thank you.
After the McG people, I'll be a patron or something.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, man, have a good sleep. Thanks.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah, he refuses to let go of the word scuffle, I'll boom, scuffle will be used.
I mean, if you were told to defend, what should you do?
Scuffle, mtakabao.
I'm just saying, everything that is said in this channel, by the way,
It's
it's allegedly. We are a court of public opinion. That's it. Nothing, no strings attached. For you guys, thank you very much. Today it was a very productive day, and we are sorry about the noise, the sound at the beginning from Emily. It was an issue that was sorted. Apologies in advance. We see some of the people who called and didn't go through, and not that we are ignoring you. When someone is still on the stage, unfortunately, we won't be able to answer you, so that, because we need to give each other a chance. If you don't go through today, tomorrow, those that I notice their pictures, I'll probably ignore them and try to answer the new one, just so that everyone gets a chance. I'm not saying don't call tomorrow. Everyone can call, because everyone has to say something. And again, everything said in this channel, it is based on allegations. Nothing really comes from the reality.
No, the views and opinions expressed by our callers are not that of the channel.
They are
the views and
of the
opinions
viewers
expressed by the presenters are also not that of the channel. So thank you so much for joining us yet again today, guys. I really, really appreciate you showing up. And please keep the conversation going on the comment section down below. We will see it.
And press that subscribe button if you haven't. Don't forget, press that like button. Politically wise, we Nosipo would like to post this thing, but yay, Nosipo, it is what it is, man. Very Aunt Moy came late. He was very defensive, Namsha.
Yeah.
Hey, he was. And there's including the comments on the comment section. Yes, even the comments on the comment section, everything in this channel, it is based on allegation and public opinion. It is a view of the person who posted it. It has nothing to do with us.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it. If you don't get that, then sohlangana khona phambili wherever we go. Cheers, guys. Thank you very much. From me, Mr. Anonymous, I love you a lot. Thank you. Emily?
Thank you, guys. Thank you. I love you too. And please continue to keep the Meyiwa family in your prayers. Let us just all do our bit in ensuring that justice is served. Okay? And let's do it responsibly.
Bye.